Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Jess, and in today's pick a card, we'll be looking into what blockages are in your life and how can you remove them. This pick a card could be about anything like love, relationships, manifestations, beauty, abundance, or maybe something related to shadow work and all that good stuff. At first, the reading was called What is Blocking Your Fulfillment? But I had to tweak the title a tiny bit to make sure I'd connected the reading as well and to broaden the subjective context of what it could be about. Now, there are 5 groups for you guys to choose from. Group 1 with the fire quartz palm stone. Group 2 with the angel aura quartz cluster. Group 3 with the selenite hearts. Group 4 with the black moonstone palm stone, and group 5 with the pink amethyst cluster. So if you need a moment to find out which group you feel most drawn to, which can at times be more than one, you can pause the video or wait for a meditation moment. The timestamps for each group excuse me, for each group are in the description box down below, and I will see you in your reading. Hi group one, welcome to your reading. So we will be looking into what blockages are in your life and what do you need to know so you can remove them. So let's get started. All right, so I'll get started with the tarot deck later on. So first I'm going to start with some oracle cards to see what the blockages are. In general, I just always start with oracle cards and then we get to the tarot. And at the end, we have some last messages, and those are some other kind of cards and oracle cards. So, if my energy, also known as vibe, shifts during the reading, my eyes itching. Okay, then it is because the energy of the reading is different from mine, and I'm subconsciously adapting to the energy of the reading, to the vibe. So, what blockages are in your life? Also, if you ever hear some sort of loud thuds or any kind of sounds, it's not from me, unless it's pretty obvious that it's me. But it could be that there are some people out there, mostly kids, teenagers, who are playing with some firework, because when I'm filming this, it's still 2023, the end of 2023, so, I mean, the end. So kids are going to play with firework, at least where I live. What blockages are in your life? Solomon. We have water energy, so Pisces, very specifically, because, you know, we have fishes, but we also have, of course, Cancer and Scorpio, and I'm also hearing Libra, even though that's not a water sign, that's an air sign, but still, those could be significant, or they may not be significant. You do whatever you want with those messages. You can't even ignore them. I do that too sometimes. Oh, okay. We have to stand with courage, determination, fearlessness, number 40. And maybe for the ones who, who already know me, you will maybe notice that I am using a lot of new kind of decks in this reading, but that's not very important anyway. What blockages are in your life? Number 33, grow together. Find those who inspire you to bloom. Community, connection, reciprocation, I don't know. Now we'll get to that little moment where sometimes I just don't know how to pronounce things, so okay. Yeah, okay, and in other words, it's reciprocity, reciprocation, excuse me. I am still learning. All right. I feel, for energies, I feel like it's very calm, very gentle, as if I'm listening to angels, as if I'm listening to messages, or to an energy that is very calm and soothing. Like even the layout, like I made this layout, this like the candle, like the way it's really, like really very simple and very elegant. It's not very all over the place. Sometimes I do that. I don't really have one specific thing about how I put these things. You know, like the thing that they say, like the way that your home looks is kind of how you feel inside, or the way that you, the mess around you kind of explains like the mess in your life. Not necessarily in an extreme way, but I feel like it's very clean, simple, light, not too much drama, not too much, I'm hearing not too much echoes. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fancy. I mean, you did choose a deck that is based on angels, so that could be the case, but still, what blockages are in your life? You know what's rare with this one? I was looking through the deck and I saw that most of them have like skeleton, you know, kind of features, and not really much of like real faces. So it's interesting how this card does have like a face that came out for you. I mean, obviously there is like, I forgot the word. A skull, thank you. Skull of like something. Animals could be significant, like cats, fierce animals. I mean, we do have courage, determination, fearlessness. Your energy is soothing, but also a little bit, at least to me, unsettling. Not to say that you were unsettling, but it's like unsettling. It's like, this is a very, like, this energy is really just, you know, I don't always get it, but I will find out soon enough, or I won't. What blockages are in your life? I kind of get why you will feel like, or think that it's kind of strange that you do feel like there are blockages, because it seems so simple, so elegant, so covered, so neat. It almost feels like there are no imperfections to be found, you know what I mean? Either people view you that way, or you view yourself that way, or you know that's just kind of how you roll in your life. So it's like, where am I going wrong? What am I doing wrong? I don't really think that that's as much of the case, that you are doing much wrong. If anything, I feel like I do need to look into the deck, where is it? There it is. The card description. Okay. But I also feel like there's something about doing too much at the same time. Intuition. I know my true path. All right. Okay. With this, I also do not feel the need to really read what it says in the book. What blockages are in your life? Waning, crescent, surrender, restore, reflection, intuition again, stillness. Oh. You could be a mother. I'm hearing like a caring mother or something like that. I mean, certainly we hope that most mothers are caring, or actually all mothers, but you know, not every mother is amazing. Oh, okay, 56 body. Okay, so I'm definitely understanding why, or understanding, or like, I could only guess that the only thing that she can see is confusion, because with what I'm seeing, I feel like most of what you're doing, like I'm trying to not like say things that are not true, is definitely contributing to you to feel stuck. I just heard that. I'm literally like right now with a kind of like question phase, as if I'm trying to solve a puzzle. That's kind of how it feels like. I mean, obviously blockages are not always that obvious. I mean, until we let ourselves be guided or whatever. I'm trying to think, I'm trying to really see what is happening here with you. Like, to not like be like, I feel like I definitely get the vibe as if I am not allowed, like, from spirit to be too much of like very much of like what you need to do kind of thing, but to be more like not because I have to, but I feel like that's the only way to really move forward. Is to kind of, that sounds a little weird. Wait. Okay, what I wanted to say is like, get down to your level. But that's not really what I mean. It's more like to really get to the point of where you are and try to figure it out with you, instead of being like, you need to do this, you need to do that, if you know what I mean. I feel like most of this is like I'm trying to like take it one step at a time right now, because to try too much, like one thing that I'm definitely getting right now is like, I need to really like try one step at a time and take it slowly and move in peace and not in destruction or not too much chaos. So for the ones who already feel like you're kind of like doing everything at once, then that this may be the time for you to understand that, or to try a different method of slowing down and surrendering to a little bit more calm, because I'm being distracted. Because maybe you're focused on too many things, but I don't feel like this is like the majority of like every single one. Like, I feel there's also an energy of where like, I am actually really going one step at a time. I'm going forward and going slow. For the ones, I feel like there are two parts here. One part is like, okay, I still kind of need to learn that method to really kind of just stand still and kind of not do something, to not be too busy with too many things, to kind of put it out where you can do it later, put it away so you can come back to it later. That's what I'm trying to say. And to also know that I feel like there's this, I feel like if there's anything that you're not really seeing, or anything that you're not really very much prepared for, is that there are more people in this world who also are able to grow with you, instead of that you need to do things on your own. I feel like you're definitely someone who likes to keep themselves busy, to keep themselves going so they don't get stuck in one way or another. But it could be, it might just be that that is exactly the reason why you are stuck. And don't ask me why. I don't know exactly yet why. Let me just get the book for one card. That's there we go. Body. What is this thing? This vessel that we are in? It brings a whole other complication. Through this deck, there are lots of cards to help us understand our esoteric, connections. But whether we like it or not, gravity still keeps our feet on the earth in our fragile bodies. Injury, sickness, our bodies are not as resilient as our spirits. We are born with instinctive fear to protect our bodies, to keep us alive, and the information we receive elevates that fear. Then, in addition to our fear, we are taught to hate our bodies and the bodies of other people. Created is a dichotomy, I don't know how to pronounce that, in which we have ourselves, who we feel are our inner selves, and our physical body, which we may disconnect from, or whether aware or not, do not believe it belongs to us. I wish that I could say I found a way to overcome the struggle myself, but I haven't. I am going to try though, and maybe you can too. This is my body. It is the house to my sacred spirit, my ultimate power, and this body is going to get me where I need to be, to shower the world with my vision and my abundance of love. So the body should be honored, even in the face of those trying to disrespect it and take ownership over it. This body is mine and only mine. This body is strong. This body is mine. Okay. I'm going to start with the tarot. I did not really give much answers yet, and that doesn't mean that I have to be stuck around here trying to figure out what those answers are and just be stuck with those questions about like what this is talking about. Sometimes along the way we can find our answers that we actually didn't think that we would, like both literally and figuratively, like got distracted. So I'm just going to continue with the tarot, and then I'm going to explain what the blockages are. So first off, it's because I feel like most of this is actually quite positive. But there's something that you may not see about your actions that have been completely based on one perception on something about going toward that direction, but missing out, like having such a tunnel vision about where you want to go that you kind of forget that there are small things beside that that you haven't noticed that are also important. I feel like this could be talking about, like, there are many topics that I can say right now. I feel like this could be talking about, for example, when we are healing, when we are trying to focus on what can help us to get toward that, to that goal, that we are able to let go of resentment and stuff like that, like stuff when it comes to healing. I feel like that could be talking about you letting go of the need to be perfect, you letting go of the need to be busy all the time, and you letting go of the desire of wanting to be seen as such. Like, you may think that people are looking at you like that, and I feel like that could be true, but I feel like the truth actually is that you are a very busy person, and that you make it look very sleek, very elegant, as if it's very easy. Like someone who, like when you look at people who are like ballet dancers or whatever, and you think it's like very easy, but when you start doing it yourself, for the ones who are not used to that, it could be like, okay, this is really heavy, this is really a lot of work. Like maybe I did not give a necessary, like the specific word for how to best describe it, but maybe you understand what I'm talking about, which is maybe the desire to be perceived in a good light. It could be you wanting to make the most out of your life and not feeling like you really got there, but and then you're like questioning like what is blocking, but maybe you've been resisting the time to, or not really surrendering to, you also just taking a breather and not really doing much at all, just kind of being more in letting things come to you, instead of being too much about how to get there, instead of being too much about, like, you already put a lot of your effort into what you want to manifest, what you want to achieve, whatever it may be. But there's also this part that needs to there's also this thing about you needing to have space and to kind of let things sink in, to not just be up and about all the time. How can you remove these blockages? I feel like the first thing, and I may say that with every single group, the first thing to realize, or the first thing that you can do, or the first step, is to realize that this is a blockage and that you have been focusing on something different, like so much that you kind of forgot that there are other issues or other things at the side that you haven't really looked into. How can you... Ten of Fire. So Ten of Fire is the Ten of Wands. It says, oh, it says too much work, accept help from others. Sorry, reciprocity, community, connection. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. Stress-related health concerns. So it could be about a literal thing, like you being sick and you feeling like you want to do things, but you didn't notice that what you really needed to do is to just call in sick and say like, I need a few days off, or maybe a week or whatever, or 2 weeks, like however long you need a break, like even a month. I'm sorry, like not for everyone, of course, but I just want to say, like, sometimes we need some moments. You need some time for yourselves, like real time, not just like the day after work and we go into bed, we go to sleep and back to it. No, sometimes we just need to lay in bed and do nothing. So this is literally talking about like things being too much, things like you taking on responsibilities, for example, that are not even yours. So how can you remove those blockages? To let go of those responsibilities. And I'm not saying, okay, like it's, the thing is, those were never really your responsibilities. How you will be perceived by someone else is not your responsibility. That's their problem. But for example, how you perceive yourself, that's, for example, your responsibility. And that doesn't mean that you need to be all hardworking and not have a break and be harsh on yourself all the time that you make a little bit of a mistake. It's realizing that you need some time for yourself too, and that you are human, and that humans are always going to make one mistake or another. How can you remove... How can you remove these blockages? The thing is, I also feel like there are some things that are too much like something that you don't even need to do. But there are things that you, for example, could put your attention to. So not looking on the outside, but looking to the inside. not looking to the outside, but looking to the inside and seeing what is more important in there instead of out there. For some reason, I'm being reminded of Shrek. I don't know why. How can you remove these blockages? How can group 1 remove these blockages? I feel like there could be like a few people who are trying to see or trying to look at more groups or more piles, whatever, because you think that there are multiple blockages, but maybe you just didn't really feel called, so you kind of chose it, or let like this such apps or things like Google, for example, like choose which number, not for everyone. But anyway, how can you remove these blockages? Spirit, how can group 1 remove these blockages? We have the Dreamer with Archangel Metatron, a leap of faith, which is the full follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. This is telling you, this is asking you to be, to just go and do what you want to do. If you have something that on your mind that you are like waiting for it to be able to do, like making a move toward anything, towards someone, towards something, to make something happen, do not wait for it, because you do not have a reason to wait other than the expectations from outside. Those are not really your responsibilities. Those are other people's things going on. It's like to open that door and just kind of go there. It's like you feel like you don't have the key, but honestly you have been having it in your pocket all the time, thinking that you need to look for a more special key or for something better, that you need to be more of this or more of that. And not everyone is going to immediately be like, okay, now I know what to do. It's a process. It's not something you can just it's not always something easy, but just know that the blockages that you think that you have around you, that you think are happening, are more like the blockages that you tell yourself that you have. How can group 1 remove these blockages? King of Earth. I just heard in my head like fake blockages, so it's not really a real blockage. It's more like you are blocking yourself. So I feel like this could be about the way that you're perceiving yourself. And by just doing it and not really being too concerned about how things will turn out, but to just let it happen. And for many of you who are a little more structured and all that stuff, I get it. It's not going to be something really easy. Anyway, King of Earth, generous, professional, responsible, practical, a successful time, confidently accept opportunities you are offered, then meet as such. I'm immediately hearing with this card that, especially because we had like, accept help from others, and we have grow together, find those who inspire you to bloom. So this could be like a little message that I'm getting is like letting go of the people who are not helping you get those, things, like people are only like putting those extra burdens on your back and not really helping you. And maybe they're telling you that you need to do that before you can achieve that. But go to the people, like accept help from others. If there have been people who have been telling you that you could really achieve a lot of things, or that you are ready to do that, then really, I feel like you really are ready to do that. Also fire energy and earth, so earth signs, fire signs. I forget those. I forget the names all the time. Sorry, I can't. I'm not going to try. Right, confidently accept opportunities you are offered. So if there has been if there have been opportunities, or if there have been people who've been offering something, trying to help you, that maybe like try to get back to that, or to look out for the next opportunity that you will be offered. And I feel like it will be something that is offered by someone you already know, or someone you're going to meet when you take the leap of faith, or someone that, like, when you like look to the stack of like opportunities, stack of responsibilities, look toward the people who have not been putting those unnecessary responsibilities onto you. So now we'll be getting into some last advice and last messages. Anything that you need to know about self-realization, emotional growth, that's what this deck is about. So I'm just kind of saying that. Advice and last messages for group 1. Thank you. And we have it's safe to notice that at times when I am feeling misunderstood, I may experience my emotions through physical symptoms. You know, feeling sick. When I own my propensity to somewhat somaticize when feeling an overwhelmingly disempowering emotion, I allow myself to access the wisdom inherent within my emotional body so that I may better support myself through physical signs of distress. If anyone wants to screenshot that, like, those messages are quite it's good shit. It's just good shit. Don't have anything else to say about that. Any last advice or messages for group 1? Oh. All right. And we have regain your focus, number 27. I thought I heard the number 27. Okay, anyway. Trivial life matters are distracting you from your goals. Archangel Metatron and I are here to help you stay grounded. So this is an Archangel Michael Oracle deck or whatever. So trivial life matters are distracting you from your goals. Don't need to say anything else. Oh, okay. I am hearing like somatic issues or whatever. Yeah, some somatic, yeah. Advice, and last messages for group 1. Oh my gosh, okay. Too many. Let's try again. Advice, okay. We have surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that Spirit is guiding you always. Now, one more card, and this is going to be a card from a deck that is called Postcards from Spirit. So this is a message from Spirit, whoever Spirit is for you, or just a gentle or a beautiful message, so to speak. Anyway, yeah, with all due respect, but I'm not gonna take, no, that will take too long to read. Can I have one card, please, Spirit? Okay, this one. And we have Dear you, there is only one you, and you have a unique place in the universe. Sometimes situations come up that challenge you to be authentic, and that means you have to be fully yourself and let go of being what you think others may want. Now is not the time to conform to other people's standards or expectations. Be proud of who you are and be courageous. Stand tall in your convictions. Being yourself is a powerful statement and will only lead you to success and ultimately happiness. Don't compare yourself to other people. Want what you have. Choose what your heart wants and know that your purpose is yours only. No one else can claim your magic nor take it away. When you place authenticity and originality high on your list of priorities and give them a prominent place in your awareness, extraordinary things happen. Your life is a beautiful one. Love you always and forever. So group 1, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the reading, I would really appreciate it if you'd let me know by liking this video, commenting down below, or subscribing to this channel. I'm sending you much love and joy. I wish you an amazing year of 2024, and I hope to see you back soon. Hi group 2, welcome to your reading. So we will be looking into what blockages are in your life and what do you need to know about them so you can remove them. So let's get started. Ain't she beautiful? I got her very recently and I'm not regretting it. So I'm going to put the tarot to the side and start with some oracle cards. Okay, I'll just put that there. All right, so if my energy, also known as vibe, shifts during the reading, and it is because the energy of the reading is different from mine, and I'm subconsciously adapting to the energy of the reading. I usually do that, and if that doesn't happen, then I'm very grateful. Oh, it depends. Depends on the energy. So, what blockages are in your life? Here on. What blockages are in group 2's life? I'm hearing physical disconnection, like disconnection from like your body or something like that, or be feeling distant. Specters, number 35, discernment, critical thinking, insight. Okay. Oh, chill, please. What blockages are in group 2's life? I do feel like there's something about like your head might get sometimes like in the way of, where's the card? Oh. Your head might sometimes get in the way of what is, like, ironically, like you think that what you think is true, but maybe your head is actually getting in the way of the truth, or getting in the way of you know, sometimes I just cannot come up with that word. I just cannot remember or really know what I'm trying to say. Your head might just get, like, sometimes get in the way of like overthinking, you know, like something that actually is not really helping you at all, if that makes any sense. But we'll get some more information. What blockages are in group 2's life. I'm hearing it's not as bad as you think. What blockages are in group 2's life? Can I please have one card? Thank you. We have third house in reverse. This is, I think, this is the house of the mind and ideas. Here is where we see the concrete thinking, thoughts, communication, mental agility, and the capacity to relate to the most immediate and daily social environments like siblings or neighbors. All right. I didn't get that last part. Wait. You know, the moment when you actually start reading, but not for yourself, but for other people. Which also reminds me doing something and not really knowing what you're doing until you realize it. Like for example, like people pleasing until you realize. So, you know, when you're somewhere else and you get home and you're like, never ever again. But you, for example, like made promises or something and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to keep them. Not like you're, you know, it's like doing something and then like, because of how I was reading, like I was reading for other people or for you to, you know, like to say it right, but to not really read myself what I'm saying or see what I'm doing, thinking. Okay, come on in reverse. What blockages are in your life? I'm going to read for this card as well. At least, like, I'm going to look into the guidebook. I'm hearing seeing things for what they are. Okay. What blockages yes. What blockages are in group 2's life? Here, can I please have one card? Thank you. We have breaking into bloom, time, liberation, understanding. Sometimes you will break before you bloom. Okay. I'm hearing like judgment. Like not like judging others, but poor judgment, something like that. Like, I'm not done yet. I'm not here to roast you or anything like that. Like, not literally, or in a matter of speaking. Number 29. This card. 35. I mean, we also have the number 3 because of the third house. Which also includes, like, you know, air signs. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Okay. I'm not good with remembering names sometimes. Okay, what blockages are in group 2's life? We have hiding. Did come out in reverse though. I'll take it like this. Well, anyway. I'm hearing winning but losing. All right, now for the Heron. Heron, sorry. Okay, why am I saying sorry? Gratitude. I pause to appreciate what a magical world I live in. Okay, so let's see what this is talking about. Just like with group 1, not that anyone would know, but I'm still saying it. I'm not going to try and just sit with it for a moment because that will take too much time. In other words, I am going to, you know, sometimes people are like, you know, maybe you need to just kind of, you know, need some stillness or whatever to focus. Well, actually, I need to keep myself busy to focus. So I'm going to shuffle some cards and I'm going to let the information get to me. Discernment, critical thinking, insight, breaking into bloom. But I definitely feel like it has a lot to do when it comes to your, or it has a lot to do with your mindset about certain things. And I'm also hearing about certain people. I am hearing like poor judgment, so I'm not going to say that this is like, I'm not even sure how to even explain it. I'm going to put this upright so I can read. It has something to do with relating. It has something to do with communication and with understanding. It has something to do with like the way that you maybe have a way to look at people and kind of think that you already know what or who they are. Not for every single one. I mean that message, but I'm gonna read the card hiding. Number 15. Okay, hiding. Are we hiding because we are crying? Are we crying because we are hiding? Feeling fragile and emotional can also bring one of the most intense feelings. Shame. I'm hearing the song How to Cry by Sam Smith. Why do we need to hide our face? Everyone gets sad. Everyone cries. Everyone feels vulnerable. There needs to be no shame here. But I understand because I hide too. Sometimes you just don't want to see anyone or the world around you. Maybe it has all become too loud and too much. It's perfectly fine to hide away in yourself until things feel safe again. I feel like this is mostly talking about you and the perception of how you should be, how you should portray yourself for yourself, how you should behave. I'm also kind of getting like trying to not be human, if that makes any sense. Oh, which is interesting because I mentioned something about like you like feeling distant from your body or from physicality. I mean, we do have hiding here as well, which could be, you know, hiding yourself or not feeling happy with your body. It could be about poor judgment. This could be about other people. I'm not gonna lie, this could be about other people. But the reason I feel like it is because of other people is because you have a poor judgment of yourself. So what blockages are in your life, your own perception, the way that you are perceiving yourself. And immediately when I started understanding what this is talking about, which is not really, doesn't happen that easily. I need to really, you know, have information in front of me. But I'm really feeling like you are projecting your worst fears onto other people, even the people dearest and nearest to you, because we have the most the capacity. Okay, I'll just read it. This is the house of the mind and ideas. This here is where we see the concrete thinking, thoughts, communication, mental agility, and the capacity to relate to the most immediate and daily social environments like siblings or neighbors. What I did get, which could be, it could honestly also be coming from myself, like my own thing, but that there could be like a trauma response or something like that when it comes to how people look at you or people view you. There is a significance to group one as well. For the ones who came from group one, I just want to say that if that is the case, then that there's just something, I'm still doing, like, I'm still talking to group two. What I'm just saying is that the energy feels different, in the intensity. This feels like there may be like anger outbursts. Like I'm very, very connected to colors. Like I'm very, very it's my way of like kind of feeling where the energy kind of flows. I see a lot of blue. I mean, obviously this entire deck is blue. I see a lot of blue and calm kind of colors. And I have a feeling that you look at other people and you feel like you are being judged, or you feel that that you may not be perfect enough. But what I'm mostly thinking about is that the way that you're perceiving yourself is kind of going toward the way that you think that people are perceiving you. Like, and when we perceive ourselves in a positive light, well, usually when we perceive ourselves in a positive light, we also think that other people think of us positively. But since I haven't figured that whole statement out yet, I cannot really put much of my own. I cannot really agree to the in the fullest, if that makes any sense. Which is still something that I'm figuring out for myself. So, which is also another way of like, just because you don't understand something doesn't necessarily mean that you're a failure, doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong, that doesn't mean that you need to be perfect. And I feel like the way that you are so disconnected from what is real and what is true, and it's not like you're delusional. I'm not saying anything like that, so I don't want people to think anything like that. I'm just saying, I mean, of course I don't have the ability to control people's minds, but I'm just clarifying that is not my, what was I talking about? My intention. I feel like the blockage is kind of about how you perceive yourself and how you allow others to perceive you in the same way. For example, I do feel like there's something here as well about like people who have such a critical mind that they cannot really, that I feel like there's something about like you not taking yourself even seriously, because the things that some like the slightest amount, like I feel like only 2 people are going to be the ones who are a little more I don't think it's just 2 people, but you know what I mean. It's not like a lot of, I don't feel like it's many of you, but there are people who have some anger outbursts and who do not really have much control over what they're saying, because it kind of gets out and then it's already out there. And the way that I'm also like chaotically, like kind of like going from one place to another. I mean, yes, that's also part of me, but I feel like that could also be the way that the mind just chaotically just goes from one place to another. I do need to know something, because it bothers me if I don't look it up. Oh, okay. I have no idea what specters mean, but I mean like ghosts, spirits, fandom, fright, or, you know, whatever. Which kind of reminds me, I mean, we're not going to go start a topic here about like ghosts or spirits or anything like that. But I do want to say that this kind of reminds me of like how you may see things that are not really there. Not saying that spirits and ghosts do not exist, okay? I'm not going to go there because I have my experience. But I feel like this is kind of talking about, especially with this discernment, critical thinking, insight, like you may see things that are not really there, but it's not because they aren't there in the outside world. They definitely exist in the inside world. So what do I mean with that? I feel like if you're seeing problems that are happening outside, I feel like it's actually an issue, something that is happening from the inside. Maybe you are projecting, or maybe, and projecting is not necessarily like you're a bad person, you know? Projecting is like we see something in ourselves, or we have something in ourselves that we think is more like other people. It's more like what other people do, but actually it's what you do, or it's what you have struggles to accept, or struggles, anything, you know, issues, traumas. And I feel like the blockage lies within your own way of looking toward your surroundings and see that there is danger, or see that there is something bad coming toward you, when it actually is more of you having had bad experience, or like, you know, things haven't really turned out the greatest for you, so you can only see what you have already known. But you may be surprised that actually your fears are only your fears and not really what is really out there. When I was looking at these cards together, I also felt like, which I didn't mention because I didn't think that it was actually the truth. Like I said, if it were to be true, then only with the smallest amount of people around who are watching, that people are very much like even outburst, anger, like something more extreme. But I feel like this has more to do with shit. I forgot something. Again, like seeing things that aren't there, or believing something that isn't actually true, but you have experienced it before, and therefore you're like believing that that's the only thing, and you'll be surprised when it actually doesn't happen, because it's like, oh, that's all I've ever known. This could be about, for example, like if you, for the people who, for example, are like starting to get into a relationship or have something going on, you know, maybe you'll notice how you feel like you're very cautious when it comes to a certain thing or a certain subject, or when it comes to certain parts of a relationship, and you're a little more careful, a little more attentive, a little more kind of seeing if there's anything sneaky shit or whatever happening. Anything like, or maybe they're doing this, or maybe they're doing that, but actually it's not really what you're doing, but you think that they're doing it because of experiences, or because you're maybe doing it yourself. I feel like whatever topic this is talking about, I feel like this is mostly talking about you finding, you needing to hear that, if anything, there's a blockage, like not in the relationship itself, but maybe in the way that you perceive things, the way that you look at things. It's a little bit twisted in a way toward suspiciousness, or toward feeling uncared for. It's like You're being in a situation that you used to be in before, but with a different person. It feels like maybe things are going to start all over again. Maybe things are going to happen like this, or maybe I'm going to be rejected, maybe this, maybe that. Like fears are taking over and are kind of covering your critical thinking, your judgment. If there's anything like the blockages, I feel like it is your judgment right now, because it's completely based on something that hasn't had the opportunity to also experience the good side of a relationship, or a good side of a situation. Whatever it is talking about, you won't know, and if you don't, then I'm sorry. It can be about anything, so I can't be very specific here. But since I mentioned relationships as the first thing, that could be a specific thing for the majority of the ones who are watching this. So how can you remove these blockages? How can you, heal those blockages? How can you, what is the blockage? I mean, healing, definitely, but let's get some actual advice here. How can you remove these blockages? Spirit, how can group 2 remove these blockages? We have the Empress. Okay, awesome. So the Empress is all about nurturance, it's about fertility, about the female energy, what's that called? The feminine energy. Very much inward and not too much outward. It's more, right, what I also wanted to say is that you may feel forced to be too outwardly focused, or to be too forced to react instead of just letting it sink in, or to, like, you feel like this rush, like you immediately need to respond, or you immediately need to react, as if it is like a life and death situation, like without really thinking to yourself, like, what am I actually doing? Not for every single one, but I do feel like it kind of is for everyone, but for one or another, like maybe less extreme, less intense. The Empress is mostly about like, I'm going to interpret right now as like, how can you remove these blockages? By first of letting yourself really forgive yourself for having these blockages. Really forgive yourself and let yourself be held by yourself, by your let's see what the deck has to say. Like, it's like, I kind of know what the message is about, but I don't know how to explain, so I kind of need some help. Okay. Femininity, creativity, expression, pleasure, fertility, Mother Nature, Goddess. Are you taking the time to connect with your true path? Are you able to ground yourself and be present in nature? What are you now cultivating in your life? The message. The Empress represents the archetypal power of feminine magic, transmutation, and expression. This card suggests that you may be experiencing feelings of inner growth, a new development of ideas, or a renewed sense of sensuality. Your state of consciousness may manifest itself physically through prosperity, wealth, a birth, or a new project. Take this time to nurture your body and explore new adventures and activities outdoors. Be free in celebrating the senses of your being, body, mind, and spirit. When you honor your creativity, you connect with the blueprint of your inner truth and higher self. An extremely charged period of exploration and abundance. So you can take whatever the message said, but I'm going to, but how I see it right now is that how can you move these blockages? By really letting it, by inviting yourself in, by not turning away, by not forcing yourself to be a certain way or another, to embrace the energy of the Empress, to be more welcoming toward yourself, to be more kind, to be more warm, to let yourself be guided with positive affirmation instead of negative affirmation, instead of worrying too much about what is actually about what is happening. Maybe I'll have some more to say about that card later on. For now, let's kind of continue. How can you remove these blockages? Okay, we have strength. So we have 2 major arcanas already. Strength is, again, also about like patience. It's about empathy. It's about knowing, you know, kind of that there is a sweetheart within you, knowing that you deserve the attention that you are seeking, knowing that you can take your time and do not need to pressure yourself. The strength card is like, even though you may think like, oh, I need to be strong, no, strength is actually being compassionate, having patience, and taming the lion within by not using force, by using empathy, by using a calm approach, by being gentle, and by not asking too much of yourself, but to take one step at a time. Number 3, wait, what? Wasn't that? I'm confused. I need to know. I think it's, yeah, okay, number 11. Okay. How can you remove these blockages? I feel like most of the energy right now is saying like to really, like this is a very, like you chose these 2, like this is a very warm energy, like a very warm, like a very, I'm reminded of amethyst, like a very spiritual energy, a very kind and loving energy. So this is not telling you to be even more harsh to yourself, but to actually be a lot more kind, to be a lot more gentle, forthcoming, and welcoming, and to not ask too much, and to not believe the stories that that your mind is telling you. Like your mind is disrupted by experience and not by logic, by not so positive experience, or by not really knowing anything else but to be fearful for whatever reason. How can you remove these blockages? Oh, 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords is about healing. 6 of Swords is about like, let's move on from the mess. Let's not like continue to live in this environment anymore. Let's actually take a step toward healing and to remove ourselves from where we do not feel like we can live in a way that makes you feel safe. Like wherever you, like whatever, it's like it's about traveling, it's about moving somewhere else, for example, but mostly it's about like knowing that wherever you have been, it has not been your place, and to leave the drama behind, to go toward the future instead of to stick in the past. So how can you remove those blockages? By really embracing yourself and not being too much like what has happened, to not focus too much on what is gonna happen, or how the past may impact the future, how things may be repeated over again, but actually looking forward towards something new to happen, for something more healing, and knowing that you deserve better than what you have gone through, what you have experienced, that you deserve better than what you have been offered. I really feel that for most of this. So let's look into some stay here please, last advice and guidance or messages after I did this. Okay. to be a lot more caring and gentle with yourself, and to not take yourself too seriously. To remove yourself from what is not serving you. Which is not necessarily always from other people, but it's mostly knowing that it is actually coming from inside of you. So instead of trying to walk or run away from people or situations, try to distance yourself from from the things that are constantly coming into your mind and disrupting your peace and scaring you into silence, or scaring you into not making new experiences with other people who do not have the same intentions as the other ones before, or whatever. So anything else that group 2 needs to know? Some last advice and last messages. Okay. We have my feelings of rejection are both valid and important. When I acknowledge that I am feeling as though I do not belong for simply behaving in ways I feel are most natural to me, I reclaim the parts of myself that are being cast away by others so that I may embrace myself in my entirety until the people who are more meant for me come my way. It's as simple as that. I don't need to say anything else. Last advice and messages for group 2. If this was about a certain relationship and certain relationships have not worked before, just know that whoever is coming in new, or whoever is like whatever is happening right now, like for the most part, I feel like whatever is more new, like what is happening right now, you know, is going to be beneficial. Is actually going to be like I'm hearing not wanting to mock you, not wanting to take you, take advantage or whatever, but is going to respect you and even try to really like help you kind of tame the lion, if that makes any sense. Step into the spotlight. Number 30. You have a message that the world needs to hear. It's time to share your wisdom. Advice and last message. Oh, okay. Okay. Surrender your addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, intimacy, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. Whatever it may be. So now one last message from Spirit, angels, whatever you, from whoever you want the message or whatever. Last message for group 2. This is a deck from about postcard from Spirit, so this is going to be a message from Spirit. Take whatever resonates. Oh, chill, please. Let's please chill. If you've been wanting to adopt an animal or something, I feel like this is a sign to go for it. I don't know why I said that, but you know, whatever. Excuse me. Dearest you, as you think, so will you experience life. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because this really, yeah, resonates a lot. Thoughts are that powerful and they need minding. Let the unruly, chaotic ones settle down so they serve you or get released instead of wreaking havoc. These thoughts arise when connected to the energy of fear and often masquerade as truth. And we have a mask here right now. Okay. Yet the real truth is that essentially all is well. Of course, you have thoughts that are positive, strong, organized, accepting, creative, open, and so on. Those are the ones we want you to keep thinking, and they have a less frantic quality. They're stimulating in a good way and don't get away from you. How do you keep an inner eye on your thoughts? Well, this is also about how you can remove those bad thoughts. Meditate and leave judgment out of the mix. Everyone has those fearful thoughts. Love them, love yourself, and then choose the thoughts you want the world to reflect back. Life is not as hard as you think. Loving you so much. Oh, by the way, I did that with group 1, so I want to do it here too, just if you want to screenshot it. Oh, no. Let's not do that. Okay, so group 2, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the reading, I would really appreciate it if you'd let me know by liking this video, commenting down below, or subscribing to this channel. I'm sending you much love and joy, and I wish you an amazing year of 2024, and I hope to see you back soon. Hi group 3, welcome to your reading. So we will be looking into what blockages are in your life and what do you need to know so you can remove them. So let's get started. If my energy, also known as vibe, shifts during the reading, then it is because the energy of the reading is different from mine and I'm subconsciously adapting to the energy of the reading. I'm going to put the tarot away for a second or a few minutes. And we're going to start with some oracle cards to see what the blockages are. Like immediately when I'm picking up on the energy, I'm feeling like I'm out of breath. I feel like I'm like I need to take a second to breathe. Kind of distracted. So maybe you've been feeling a little bit busy or a little bit spacey lately, and you feel like you can't really focus on anything important. My coffee will get better in a few minutes. I'm just going to put on some sage to cleanse this, because as much as I want to be as accurate as possible, that's only possible when I'm not too overflown with emotions, energies. What blockages are in group 3's life? Okay, I needed a minute to kind of come back to my own energy. What blockages are in group 3's life? I start this reading and I immediately am yawning the entire time. Like, how long have I been awake? Well, I should be awake by now, so. Elephant. That was my chair saying hello. Let's see. All right, compassion, love spreads. Okay, and I'm not feeling called to read all of this, so. And I knew for a fact that this card was all about compassion, because I got, when I got the deck, I got like an extra card with a signature, and when I looked up like, the double card, pretty much, it was all about compassion. I was like, oh, that's a very sweet thing. Anyway. Like, my eyes are even getting teary by how tired I feel right now. What blockages are in group 3's life? What blockages are in your life? Trinity, number 3, balancing decisions, priorities, adapting to change. What blockages are in your life? Number 20, you don't need it all figured out. Gifted guide, stars, chaos, opportunity. By the way, my energy shifted like this. So right now I'm drained, I'm tired. Like, not literally, but I feel kind of distracted, or I felt kind of distracted, and I am yawning all the time, I'm coughing, which could be an indication of course, someone feeling drained out or sick or anything like that. But mostly I feel like this is talking about feeling overwhelmed by something. What blockages are in your life? If any of you have some sort of suggestions for pick a card reading topics, you can always put them in the comment section down below, and I will see when or how I will put that, or how I will what I can do with that. What blockages are in your life? Because this entire reading was based on a request. Conjunction, unity, autonomy, individuation, inner self, self-motivation, concentration, interesting, concentration, and personal interests. I'm actually feeling a good vibe with this reading. What I can say already is that whatever you want to go toward, whatever it is that you feel like that there is a blockage in that path, I feel like the blockage has nothing to do with what actually is happening on the path. I feel like what you need to know is that you have been doing a really great job at it, like going toward that goal, going toward, like, even if it's not a goal, it's just going forward in your journey, like whatever you feel like you're doing. I feel like most of this has to do with you just not taking the time for yourself to just really rest, to really take a breather and not work and be busy all the time. Like they're like, I feel like you need to know, like maybe you want to know what the next step is, maybe you want to know what is going to happen next, what about everything that you can know. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to you know, with being curious and wanting to know more. I feel like for many of you, you may have been more like recently like called to pick a card readings about what your future is about. Like, for example, maybe you're not at all someone who is very curious about predictions, but maybe right now it's like you feel like there's something up ahead in your future that you just need to know more about, not because it's something bad, but because it's something that you're very interested in. You want to know more. It's like all the information you can get. And I feel like all the information that you want is not something... I feel like your focus may be very... You may be very focused on the things that will happen instead of that can happen. As if you need to know what a definitive future is all about. When, how do I explain? There's too much focus on things that you don't need to focus on. Like, if you want to know more, like specifically this card is really calling me. There's a lot that you are going to achieve. There's a lot that's going to change, and there's a lot that's going to happen for you. But the thing is, it's not something that can really be, I'm not going to say predicted, because I myself, I'm not the kind of gal to be all about like what will happen. It's more like I'm going to see what happens, but it's also nice to have some possibilities thrown at you. Like, this is also what could happen, and have you considered these things, and have you considered these things? Of course, only when they make sense or when they feel right. And then I know, you know, what I can work towards. But if I don't know, it's more like, it's not like you are literally going to go toward a certain, let's say someone predicts something and it's like, okay, now I know what is going to happen in the future. But I feel like this is not something that you need to focus on. What you need to focus on is yourself and your own journey. And maybe I've already been doing that, but I feel like there's a tendency to kind of look in on things that are not very necessary to look into. Like, will I find love in the next 3 months? You know, something like that. Something very specific. And it's like, you don't need to know all of that, because it's like, it almost seems like it's too much of like, as if you will have it all figured out. You will have it all known. But it's more like, what you really need right now is a guide and not a prediction. Someone who can help you understand, or something that can help you understand. Like, you don't need to know all that is going to happen next. All you need to know is that you're going forward, and what you're doing right now is pretty good. The thing is that you are focusing maybe too much on what should happen instead of what could happen, and you may by that really drain your own energy. What blockages are in group 3's life? Your light, number 51. Let's see if there's anything specific this book has to say about that card. Little light or wildfire. Your light is your way to navigate the world around you. We each bring a new perspective into this life. Your light illuminates in a particular way that is unique to you, right? Unique to you, not something that is going to happen to everybody, not something that is specifically a prediction. More like just because a reader says like this is going to happen doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to happen, or it is going to happen in the way that you think it is going to happen. All right. Remember that it is there for you in the gloomiest nights. Your flame can at least help you find the next door, the next step, or thaw your hands touched by the coldness of the frigid winter air. The blockages is more like your expectations. As for some, I already feel like, right? What you think is going to happen because other people tell you that it is going to happen, or because, you know, whatever, but maybe not focusing on what you want to happen or what could happen, but you may not have really been focusing on that or looking toward that because you've been too focused on other things. If there's any blockage, I feel like it has nothing to do with where you are going. It's not like you don't know enough, so you need to know more, and that's why you are being blocked. You may feel like you are missing some sort of guidance. You're missing some sort of help toward how to reach that goal. So maybe instead of looking for predictions, maybe you want to look at a reading that is all about like what your spirit guides want you to know. Or maybe you want to book a personal reading from somebody. Maybe. Does, you know, not necessarily. Or maybe you want to really figure it out on your own and not like by some random reader on the internet. So now, like I did with the other groups as well, even if I have not literally like the specific blockages, like maybe I already said it, but I already forgot that I mentioned it, can also be, happens far too often. But I'm just going to continue toward how you can remove these blockages, what you can do about it, toward it, or them. So, how can you remove these blockages? How can Grid-Free remove these blockages? I just heard it's okay to surrender. It's okay to not know. It's okay to surrender. We have strength. Strength is all about like patience, about empathy. Strength is all about being able to work towards something, or being able to tame something, or something within yourself without using force, without using aggression, but using patience, using empathy, using being caring and gentle, and not by forcing yourself or others to be a certain way, but by explanations instead of I don't even know how to explain it. I know the context. It's more like something cannot just work the way you want, like immediately. It needs to be worked towards. Needs to be worked toward. I'm still feeling a little bit, you know, as if I'm running out of breath, or not necessarily running out of breath. running out of air, and I'm talking more than and breathing less. So how can you remove these blockages? By not taking them, I just heard, not taking it too personally, or not taking it too seriously, like being too harsh, but actually by using, instead of punishing yourself, but actually remember and remind yourself that it is all fine, all okay, and that you will not be punished, and that you don't need a reason to punish yourself. And that if you want to tame the lion, that you need to be patient, that you need to be gentle, and I'm struggling with the words. Because I also don't want to repeat myself excessively. It's hard to explain for some reason. Let me look up some extra about guidance when it comes to the Strain card. Let's see. Okay, so sorry for that long pause there. Strained is not just, you know, about that. It's about being courageous, about being, well, if it will be about internet, it will tell me like this and this and this. But right now I feel like, first off, I already know that you're not going to back down, because that's just not the way you are. That's just not what I feel like. You don't feel like giving up. So I don't need to tell you to be courageous, to take the next step, because you're going to do that anyways. But what I can tell you is, if you're taking the next step, if you're going to move forward, then do it with, by knowing that you don't need to ask too much of yourself. You can be patient. You can take the next step without asking too much of yourself. Also, use kind words towards yourself, and tell yourself, like, it's okay, I don't need to have it all figured out. Like, tell yourself that your inner child, your inner anything, to take it easy. It's okay to not be on top of everything. You don't need to be a top student or whatever at whatever. Like, this is kind of yeah, I'm not always that vague. I've tried to be more specific, but this is kind of the energy, because it's like you try to focus so much on taking the next step, like trying to focus on what you should do next, but you're forgetting to also kind of stop running and take a moment to kind of just breathe in and out. Because just do it for me, because I'm trying to do the reading, right? But I can't really do it in a good way if it's too stressed. Okay, no, don't do it for me. Just do it for yourself. I'll figure it out. How can you remove these blockages? How can group 3 remove these blockages, Spirit? We have the Goddess of Feathers. Goddess. I've said it many times before, like I just cover up something, well, not many times in this reading, but before in other readings, like, and now it's like I don't need to repeat myself. I'm just gonna cover it up, and then we'll be good to go. The goddess, let me just look up real quick, because I don't know where that little book is, where that little thingy is to tell me. This deck is gorgeous, but Wanderer, it's difficult when people use different kind of words, and I don't know what it is. Prophet, goddess. Okay, I think the goddess is the queen, okay? I'm not gonna go too much about it. If it actually is the king or whatever, then so be it. It's not too much of a difference. Out anyway. I hurt myself. So the goddess of feathers, queen of wands. I think that this is advice. Like what you can do is like to not take your life too seriously, to not take it too, to not make it too personal, to not make it too serious. Breathe. Yeah, I feel like as well as strength, like go step by step. Don't be too harsh. Don't take it too seriously. Don't punish yourself. Don't try to limit yourself into a certain box, like you need to be this, you need to be that to be able to get there. And do not take, like, I'm getting a specific message. If you're listening to readings just like this one, I really want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, okay, from the bottom of my heart, do not at all take these messages too seriously. If it resonates, then it's cool, right? But don't take it all too seriously. Like, this is a general reading for many people, and some messages may resonate, some may not. And if you feel like no, that sounds not right, then that's like not your message. Like, you'll know it, like when you just feel like it just isn't true or it isn't right. That doesn't necessarily mean that it will be wrong for other people as well. Just take the messages that do resonate. Do not take it too, because it can get harmful if you take it too seriously. I mean, some people have a little more experience with that, some people don't, so that's why I'm saying it's very important to be assertive and to know what is true, and to not take other people's words too literally, to just go along with what feels right to you. That really is the message here. Anything else? Okay, Two of Swords. Knives will be the word in this deck. Two of Swords is about a decision. Two of Swords is about, do I go left, do I go right? Two of Swords is about making a decision based on your intuition, based on what you actually want and what feels right to you, what is true to you, and what resonates and what aligns, and not something on what you need to do. Like, whatever direction you go, like, it's not something like you need to be, it's like whatever you do, like, you cannot make a wrong decision. And if this is about how you can remove your blockages, I feel like this is about you making a decision about where you actually want to go. Like, instead of letting other people decide for you, instead of letting readers or whatever tell you what direction you should go. Thank you, by the way, for the ones who are very, like, I don't know if I say this that often, But sometimes I really do feel like at the moment that I'm doing a reading or when I'm saying something, I do feel like like people are actually not just listening, but actually appreciating what I'm saying. Like I immediately feel that. And I want to thank you for yeah, feeling that way, even though it's not something that you really, you know, control. But I'm just glad to be able to help in one way or another, or to say something that makes sense or feels right. The Two of Swords is more like, okay, you need to make a decision. Do I go that way or do I go that way? Because if there is a blockage, it's not necessarily your path. It's more like how you decide to go forward. So what you need to know about your blockages is there are many things that are definitely going to change and definitely going to shift to a whole new perspective, and you want to know for sure that you have it all, that you got it all, that you know it all. And what you need to know is, like, if you really want to go forward, then that you should not focus too much on what you already need to know, but to focus on what you know right now, and to not regret your decisions, because you only know what you know. Like it's good to be it's awesome to be a great chess player, right? Like, or to be a good checkers player, and that you can already kind of predict what is going to happen next. But I feel like what you need to focus on right now is not on predictions or what will happen next, but more on what you want and what you want to achieve through what you are going toward, and not on what is going to happen. So for example, if I say, like, I'm going to talent show or whatever, and be like if I really want to be out there known as a singer or whatever, because I make music, and the music that is on my other music channel is literally not the only music that I have. I just am too lazy to put much effort into really getting it out there. But if I really wanted to be very well known, I could make the decision to go to some sort of, you know, Thingy's Got Talent, whatever. I wouldn't do that. But if someone wants to achieve their goals and they're focused too much on what the possible failure could be, you're already making it look like that, but maybe it will turn out completely different. Just because you have like a prediction about how it will turn out, or people tell you how it will turn out, doesn't necessarily need to be literally how it's going to happen. Especially if you're pretty much worrying too much about what is going to happen next, and wanting to have it all figured out, having it all known. But sometimes there are things that you just cannot know yet. And if you do something that you will perceive as something that's not very awesome, then you do not need to shame yourself. You need to know, like, okay, now I know, and I'm not going to do that in the future, you know? Or maybe I am, or maybe you are. Whew. I gotta tell you. Oh, I mean, no, well, it's the reading is not that long, and I'm actually very grateful for that. I mean, for the ones who know me, length is one of the things, you know, I like to go very in depth, especially with specific topics. But I'm just surprised, because I was talking like as if I am not able to really breathe very well, as if I just like ran a marathon or something, and still turned out great. You know, like the worry just adds to the pressure, if that makes any sense, not really to the outcome. That did not come from me. That came from Spirit. Because sometimes I'm like, wow, that's really well said, and I'm like, where the heck did that come from? Well, not for me. And the thing is, I don't even remember what I said just a few seconds ago. So yeah, hope that helps. So now to some last advice and last messages for this group. Anything? All right, I feel called to take these two. Usually I would take one. So we have, it's safe to notice that at times when I am feeling unheard, I may be unwilling to acknowledge how sad I am about the way things are. When I own my propensity to deny my feelings of sadness, I may reclaim my power to align with my desires by recognizing what changes I may have. The power. What changes I may have the power. to set myself on a more fulfilling path. Okay, I am so sorry. I kind of brain farted at that moment. If anyone understands what is written down, on there, then yeah, that's cool. I just hold it up for the ones because these cards are very, very in-depth and very beautiful. So I want to really show it, because if you want to know, you can, like, if you want to, you can screenshot the messages. Okay, I'll put you here. Stay right where you are. And then we also have, oh, both of the bluish. Okay. Beautiful. It's safe that it's okay. Hi. Take a breather, okay? It's safe to notice that at times when I am feeling unsafe, I may have difficulty recognizing my fear in a moment. When I own my propensity to avoid realizing my fear, I may tap into the curiosity necessary to identify and validate the way I'm feeling so that I may determine how I may find support through life's challenges. If you want to screenshot that. Okay. Now, advice and okay. Look. The thing is, there are definitely messages out there. There are definitely things that Spirit wants you to know. The thing is, you may be looking sometimes toward the wrong kind of readings about predictions that are not necessarily necessary to know right now. Like whether you will find love this year, whether you will find a great job this year. Like, it's like, don't ask those questions, because then you're kind of giving it out that you are okay with whatever the answer is. It's like, if you want a good job, if you want to find love, then don't rely on what other people are saying, but more on what you want. Like, I want to find love this year in whatever way, you know? Okay. 18, let it go. This situation no longer serves you. Allow me to sever your energetic connections to the past so you can embrace the future. Okay. Advice and last messages for group 3. Surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your divine timing. I just noticed. Sometimes I'm like reading it, but I'm not really reading it myself. So I'm like, oh, right, divine timing. Like, you will get it. You will definitely get what you want. The thing is, you need to stop focusing on when. More like, you will get it whenever you are ready. It's not a question to whether you will actually get it. You will, but maybe not necessarily in a time frame that you want it to be, or that you think is beneficial or whatever. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. All right, ego's timing. Ego is not something bad, it's just deeper and darker. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient, all right, and trust the universal flow. I don't need to say anything else, man. Like, all you need to know is that it's definitely coming. Whatever you want is coming. All you need to know is that you need to focus on you need to focus on your journey, you need to focus on yourself and on healing and going forward, and everything will just come in the way that it's supposed to come. You know, like, don't worry too much about the extras. That's not your responsibility. Just worry about what you, not worry, but just focus on that you can control. Focus on that you can do for yourself, which is making positive movement forward. So let's get one last message from Spirit, anything that Spirit wants you to know. The deck is literally called Postcards from Spirit, and I love it. And I'm going to take one card, not 3, with all due respect. But we don't have time for that. Last message from Spirit. Spirit, what is your message for group 3? I'm hearing the song Run Into You by Clara May. I'm a little drunk saying what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm too much, but maybe it's a good thing. I wasn't ready to run into you. Okay. Okay. Dear you, there is a balance between activity and rest. God, this will be amazing. Ebb and flow. You can't have one without the other. If you are faced with an obstacle right now, literally this reading being about blockages, the best course is surrender and not resistance. Soon enough, you'll see how easy it is to flow around it. Now is one of those times where you must trust the river of your life. Go with the flow. These cards are so amazing. For all the groups, they've been really so accurate, in my opinion. Okay, sorry. Go with the flow, and in no time you'll reach what you have your heart and hope set on. Just remember, Spirit will keep your head above water and will direct your currents. When it's time for a greater effort, you know exactly when you'll need to work those manifesting muscles. I want to mention a song that I'm right now being reminded of. It's called Head Above Water by, no, not by Kesha. What's her name? Oh my God, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Avril Lavigne or something. Avril, I sounds French. I don't know. I'm not. I don't have a name like that, which is a very beautiful name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. And it's like, God, keep my head above water. It's very beautiful. Anyway, manifesting muscles, right? It can be challenging to master the flow cycles of your life, but as you develop your skills, affluence will be yours. Okay, I don't know that word. Enjoy the flow and trust those currents. For right now, they're with you. For right now, for fuck's sake. Okay, for we are right there with you with our little umbrella drinks, smiling at your success. Love you so very much. I don't need to say anything else. By the way, if you want to screenshot that, it's a very, it really aligns with this reading. Let's just say that. I feel like I can finally breathe. Okay, so group 3, was that all? That was all that I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the reading, I would really appreciate it if you'd let me know by liking this video, commenting down below, or subscribing to this channel. I'm sending you much love and joy. I wish you an amazing year of 2024 for the ones who are watching it in 2023, of course, and I hope to see you back soon. Hi group 4, welcome to your reading. So we will be looking into what blockages are in your life and what do you need to know so you can remove them. So let's get started. Let's see here. Okay. If my energy, also known as my vibe, shifts during the reading, then it is because the energy, oh, don't fall, because the energy of the reading is different from mine, and I'm subconsciously adapting to the energy of the, reading. Wow, okay. I pre-shoveled it before, but now that I'm shoveling the deck, it's kind of messy. Okay, that's better. So we're going to start with some oracle cards, and then we're going to get into the tarot, which is this deck right here. Whew. So, all right. So, what blockages? I feel like there could be some sort of resistance when it comes to blockages, but just based on the behavior of the decks. Thank you for working with me instead of against me. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. What blockages are in group 4's life? Hello, thank you. resistance, not surrendering, that's for sure. But we're going to figure out more about that. What blockages are in your life? I feel people thinking like, what is this actually about? Like, I feel people like thinking like, okay, is it actually about my love life? Is this about my family? Is this about this? Is this about that? Is it about my work? Like, it's like you don't even know what the blockage is gonna be about. It's almost like you're still choosing like what exactly it is that you want to know, like the blockages, whatever about. So maybe that is another way of like octopus, that this is going to be a reading where you will be shown where actually are the most blockages. If you feel like there are more things in your life that is blocking or whatever, maybe this reading will give more insight about this. Like I'm thinking to myself, like I feel like it could be that I'll be like mentioning a lot of different things based on different situations, but it could also be that maybe maybe this reading is not enough and you want to want to see more. Maybe you already have. Breathe. So I do know something about the octopus. Not sure if I'm even pronouncing it right, but simplify. I rise above my distractions. Like, as you can see, like there are many things that you can do. There are many things, like so much work. Here, octopus waves all 8 arms to caution us against the glorification of waves. Well, it's not really an animated deck, so anyway. Glorification of being busy. We are overwhelmed at work, ambushed by a perpetual stream of emails, and distracted by an infinite number of social media apps to scroll through. Modern day burnout. It may be time to simplify if you're feeling these effects of modern day. Okay, burnout. I feel like I feel like I need to read this because this could be advice for you as well, like about whatever sort of blockages. So, octopus tentacles are outfitted with suction cups to grab everything within reach. They have the ability to do multiple things at once, but they are selective with how much they take on. Breathe. Octopus waves all 8 arms. Yes, okay, we are overwhelmed at work. Okay, I already said all of that. If you're feeling the effects of modern day's burnout, it may be time to simplify. Create a schedule to keep yourself on track, and before you make a commitment, think about how it will benefit you. Be sure to include a time limit for internet use. Yeah, okay, curb your binge watching and unsubscribe from email list or what's that? Or channels, YouTube channels, you're not really interested in. Leave your phone at home and go for a walk in nature to truly appreciate its beauty. Your time is precious, so be mindful of its passing. I think that this also is some sort of advice for how you could remove your blockages. Okay. With the last reading that I did, I was yawning all the time and coughing, and now I'm burping. And yawning. What are your blockages? What are group 3's blockages? What blockages are in group 3's life? Feel good vibe with this reading. We have Meadow, number 42. Look. Like, I'm so happy. Sorry, sometimes, like, as a child until now, even when people make like facial expressions, sometimes I will just laugh because I will see how extreme it is or how intense, and I will see like, oh, oh, I'm so happy. It's almost like, it's not really happy, but more like almost like a joke. I will just laugh, not because it was funny, like I'm laughing at them, but it was I don't know. I don't know what it's like, but like, even if you can't see like a facial expression, I see like the jaw wide open. So it's like, I'm enjoying my time around here. Success, blessings, positivity. Sorry. All right. I'm hearing the word oversimplify. Right, I'm being reminded, like, this is maybe not even that important, but for me it is, because it's an insider for me. Like, usually I would do this, and I like doing that, but right now I feel like it's so easy. I just let it fall. I just let it fall into its place, instead of like using like my grip to have it very perfect. Like, it's like, whatever. I don't know like how to even explain it, but it's a comforting kind of feeling right now. I don't know. It's good shit. It's good shit. Okay, so what blockages are in your life? This obviously is not a blockage, but you know what I mean. I'm going to explain what the blockages are and how you can also remove them, or how you can ease them, or, you know, whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense. How can you, wait, no, we're not there yet. What blockages are in your life? Growing pains, healing, patience, unconscious. Number 19. Number 6 could be significant. Number 10 or number 1 could be significant, or even number 0. Like starting all anew, or, you know, whatever. I feel comfortable around this group. I don't know why. Not to say that I'm not comfortable with the other groups, but I feel the way to know when I'm comfortable is when I cannot stop talking. Or when I start telling like things about like my past or about myself. I cannot tell. Even I can't tell sometimes. What blockages are in your life? I feel like with this one as well, with this group as well, like some of the blockages are more about some small little things that you're doing that you could change. Maybe not that easily, but you know what I mean? Like, some things are a little bit deeper, you know? They really need some work. And there's some things that you can change by external kind of doing things like externally, and that's how you internally will kind of adapt to how you do things, if that makes any sense. So void, of course, pause in time, change of plans, limbo, improvisation. Looks cute. I don't think I ever got that card. Like, it may even be that people think that this is a new deck. Fun fact, I have had it for like more than 2 or 3 years. I just never used it because this deck also has like signs, like astrology signs, but with no description of the astrology signs, like what it actually means in like short words. So it's kind of so sometimes I just look at decks and it's like, okay, this card or these few cards really don't fit. I really don't understand them or can't connect to them, so I just take them out. I just take them out of the deck. So I took out the 12 signs, and the rest of it was understandable in some way. I mean, not every single card is going to be like connecting to you. That's okay. Anyway, what blockages are in your life? So maybe this is like, I'm going to a little deeper with this. Ungrateful daughter and earthy mother. Number 7. I can also say like my whole way of describing why I am using this deck, even though I've had it for more than 2 or 3 years. Because I did not like to use the cards, some of the cards in the deck. It's like, no, I don't get it. So I will just put it away. But now I'm using it because I took some cards out. So there's something about like maybe seeing, like, let's just say you don't look at YouTube anymore because you're subscribed to all kind of bullshit channels that you don't like. It's a stupid kind of, well, stupid. It's just, it's something that I can relate to, so I will try to explain through that. But maybe you have not been using some sort of app because of whatever function. You could also just ignore that function or just kind of go around it and not do that. Depends on whether that works or not. There's something here, like, just because there is that little extra about it doesn't mean that you necessarily need to know or do something with that as well. I don't know what this could be talking about, but the way that just described. Anyway, so let me just read the card for that. What's wrong with you? Murky. What the hell is murky? I don't even know. Oh, sorry. That was my butt. Let's see. Sometimes I say words and I'm like, I don't even know what it means. Murky is dark, obscure, gloomy. Okay. Well, she looks a little bit like, he, she, they look a little bit like nothing is ever enough. Anyway. Humble mother always gives love to her daughter. She knows where she was birthed, even when her daughter has become spoiled by the ways of the material world and has inflated herself. Her ego makes her appear much larger, but the mother grounded a huge head, but like a really small body. Like in real life, that would be, I don't know what it will be like. I have a very small head. Okay, I'm not trying to make fun of people. Okay, but the mother grounded in earth will always see past her temporary whims and give her love and kiss her hands, sending wishes that she may soon find wisdom and connection to the earth. That's really beautiful, though. What does it mean for this, though? I feel like this card actually talks about the connection to yourself. And I feel like it's not necessarily like you're ungrateful or anything like that. I feel like it has nothing to do with that, actually. Just because, you know, I don't take oracle cards too literally. Because that can, I don't know, kind of limit the reading. Excuse me, I got a message. I needed to swipe that away real quick. I feel like this is talking about a focus on something. Let's see. So the main energy here, the blockages. Let's see. By the way, if some readings kind of sound like one or the other, it may look like they are the same, but there's always sort of shift in energy or vibe, whatever you prefer. I just always say energy. It's what I just do. So as I said before, I don't feel like it's too much of a big blockage. I feel like this... Like, I'm trying to kind of shuffling. I'll just shuffle. So what blockages are in your life? So first off, I don't really feel like there are too many blockages. I just want to say that it has to do with things that come from outside of you, things, external factors, not really internal factors. I feel like both are, you know, always kind of present. Like there's always some way, like, you know, for example, we allow external factors to do something with us because we are internally kind of easily persuasive, or you know what I mean. And if it gets too difficult for me to really, if it gets a little too difficult, I will pause the recording and I will just go on after I kind of got it. Okay, so I definitely understand why I couldn't really get a read on like where this is specifically going. So for many people, this will be about different kind of topics. What I'm mostly getting is that it has to do with things that are affecting you. Like, this will probably be a short reading, but I'm not really sure about this. But things that are affecting you from outside, that are impacting you in a way that can be easily turned around again. So it may be about, like, when it comes to blockages, maybe about a habit, something that you do or tend to do that kind of gets in the way of your success or in the way of you going forward in life. I feel like this has to do with you, like, sometimes having moments where you don't know, okay, but you will know after that you have been a little bit of a pain for somebody or even for yourself. And I don't mean this in like a way like you were mean, you were this or that. I feel like it's a sort of temporary situation. 1 second. I got a little bit of a call about something. I got a call, so my music suddenly stopped. It happens when people call me. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, let's try it again. So, doesn't matter. I got a call about an order I made. Because, no, I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that. Okay. So let's see. I feel like this has a lot to do with you sometimes knowing that there is, okay, so I'm being called to, like, outside, how do I even explain this? Like, let's just say you see something through, like, a, you know, like a window at a store or something, like, and you're easily persuaded toward something that shows up in front of you. And sometimes kind of forgetting what you are feeling or what actually is important to you. I feel like that is a little bit of how I could explain it, like being kind of swayed by external factors and kind of forgetting the internal factors and how it is affecting you. And this is a little bit like of the long description of how I could, like, you know, a long way to describe what's kind of going on. I feel like it could be a little bit more extreme or more intense for in one way or another. For some people, for some it's like a little bit more easier, you know. But I feel like this mostly has to do with a habit, something that you're used to doing. And then you kind of forget that maybe, you know, it's not like you're at all like that kind of ungrateful or whatever. It just, it can be that you're sometimes a little bit swayed by the things outside of you, and you want all of this and all of that. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, this is not something bad, right? But I do have to say, when I was choosing this group, when I was choosing the deck and all of that, I felt connected to it. So I'm going to be honest, I have that too. I have, let's say it like this, and that kind of makes sense why I would feel comfortable, because yes, it's my kind of my own energy as well. And let me explain. I have my tendencies to sometimes be a little bit too I kind of want sometimes I kind of want a little bit too much, but that's because well, not saying like as an excuse, but you know, for example, I like collecting card decks. I love it. So I will always put my priority a little bit, you know, for that. Like there are always things like in financial situations that I need to, of course, pay attention to, and it goes well. It's not like I'm literally broke or whatever, or it's not like I have millions of dollars to pay back. I do have some, I can float in the clouds a little bit, but I do know how to get back on earth, if that makes any sense. And me describing this could be literally your situation. Like you can sometimes be swayed by things that are not very necessarily like your real priorities to the objective I would say, but it is important to you. So what is the blockage here? I do not feel, okay, this is not the blockage. It's not like your attention or your priority for some things that are very your thing. So for example, you really like collecting Disney stuff. I'm saying this because I know of a friend, is it even a friend? Like I used to be friends with them, and now it's like we talk every once in a while. It doesn't matter, but she really likes collecting Disney things and clothes and stuff like that, and I'm not all about that. I like collecting decks. That's my special interest. That's my special thing, and I like being living a luxurious life. Just being honest, you know, because why not? I am allowed, and it's my birthright. If that's what makes me feel comfortable and at home with myself, then that's okay. And I've learned to deal with that. I've learned to be more of that kind of thing. Like, and I don't need to necessarily ask that from other people. I like the fact that I am able to do these things for myself. So let's see. The blockage here has to do with the way that you sometimes perceive yourself and the way that you sometimes think that other people will perceive you. I feel like you may think of yourself as someone who is very ungrateful. You may think of yourself as someone who is like only interested in themselves. But I don't feel like it's in a way that you completely hate yourself or whatever. You know, it's not like you really don't know how to be grateful. It's not like you don't know how to be this and that. I feel like the blockage could be in the way that you are looking at things, thinking that you are doing something wrong, when in actuality you have been putting so much effort into just not just making your life very beautiful for yourself, living in a way that you can really enjoy it instead of just waiting for things to get by or whatever. But you also really like this mother knows that the daughter is still in there. The daughter is still there. Just because of some external kind of things doesn't necessarily mean that you are a bad person. Just because you have your tantrums doesn't mean that you're literally stupid or that you're just a crybaby. That doesn't mean, like, I feel like you judge yourself very unfairly based on the small things that everyone has, that is called a shadow, the ego, like own desires, a little bit of selfishness, and I feel like this is kind of all what we have. I mean, of course, there's a limit. Of course, there's a part that needs to be kind of, tuned down a little bit. But I feel like, if anything, like, yes, there are definitely things that you could do better. But I don't think that you have been really judging yourself very fairly. I feel like we all have our little things. Like, just because we have our little habits doesn't necessarily mean that we are a horrible person. Just because we did something not very kind to somebody doesn't necessarily mean that we are horrible. And that doesn't mean that they are also, like, perfect. That doesn't mean, like, I feel like if anything, if you feel like you've been acting selfish towards somebody or whatever, then I feel like it is because you're scared to be seen that way. It's not necessarily that you are seen that way. If anything, I feel like this person or even yourself actually has a lot of love for you, and it wouldn't really change much about it. Like, just because you have your little tics, your little thingies going on, doesn't mean that you're a bad person. So let's see. Change of plans, limbo, improvisation, pause and time. I feel like you also need to know, if anything, it's not necessarily about blockages, but more about how your own perception about yourself is not very motivating. Like, it's almost very much criticizing everything that you do. Like, you have to focus on everything. Because with the change of planet limbo improvisation, I'm being specifically called to this improv thing, because I feel like this could be talking about you really knowing how to still kind of figure out a way around the problem, to not get too obsessed by it, and if you do, that you find out that it will be something temporary. I feel like everyone knows that just because you have your moments doesn't mean that this is literally you in a complete way. Just I feel like, and the way, like, honestly, the way that we sometimes judge ourselves is maybe the way that we should be appreciative about the fact that we just care about being a good person, that we care about being very giving, and that we don't just ask too much, that we want to create a balance, that we don't just want all for ourselves, and we don't all want to give, like, how do I say this, that we are able, like, sometimes I am speaking a very cheap kind of English, sorry about that. I feel like you need to know that you have been doing a lot to really go forward in that way, like, to see that it is not something that you can just change overnight, possibly, you know, for many of you. So let's just say force of habit doesn't necessarily mean, you know, that it's gonna stay forever, unless you choose to not do something about it, you know what I mean? But the thing is, you do something about it, you are actively thinking about it, you're actively trying to do better, and at the same time you're still giving yourself that kind of sense of freedom, that sense of euphoria, if that makes any sense, like feeling like you are blessed in that way. Like, honestly, this reading feels very healing, it feels very comforting, like, because you're doing so much for other people, like, you don't even notice that what you're doing for yourself is well deserved, and that you can do that, like, because maybe you don't really have a lot of people around you who are able to do that, but they are happy for you when you are able to provide for yourself, when you're able to give yourself something, to celebrate that you are able to do that for yourself. I feel like people are actually just happy. Like, if you think, like, oh god, like, let's for example say, like, sometimes I say, like, yeah, I bought sushi, like, I ordered sushi, and my friend will be like, you know, or I ordered something and I'm like this app or this thing, I recently said, like, this app Klarna, I don't know how to pronounce it, like, when it comes to American English language, but that's an app that makes you pay, that where you can pay, like, 30 to 60 days later, and I've been using that app quite a lot recently. It brought me a little bit into a slightly challenging situation, but that kind of taught me how to deal with it as well. Not that it will be all about it, but for example, I will say sometimes, like, I have my moments and I would say, like, oh yeah, I did again, and I said it, and I tell him, like, that app is like is heaven on earth. After he sent me something that I asked him. So, okay, how do I explain? I asked him if he could send me a link from something that I was wanting to look into, like, to purchase or to look in, you know, and I was like, oh, you can buy it with that, so I guess I already ordered it. And he was like, oh my gosh, you know, like face palming himself and laughing, because he knows that I usually do this, that I tend to do this, and it's not, and I feel like all I want to say right now is, like, just because, you know, something like that happens doesn't necessarily mean that they view you to be a bad thing. Like, it will be a bad thing if it will be spent for things that will harm you instead of make you happy, for things that will that could make you addicted, like drugs or whatever. And sorry to say it, but I'm not a drugs fan. If anything, cautious kind of talking with, you know, like, not cautiously talking, but talking with a therapist or someone who can help you, and looking into, like, medication or something like that, but not necessarily like drugs, like, should you, like, prick into your skin, and or, you know, whatever. I'm just, no. sorry, just like smoking and weed. Like I hate all that good shit. So and I don't have any experience with it. If anything, I only have I'm sensitive to smelling and to sensations and all that stuff, so it's not really what I want. Point is, as long as it doesn't harm you, and I feel like you really look at yourself as if you're the ungrateful daughter, as if you're, but for example, like the way that I started accepting, and it's not an excuse or whatever, but ever since I found out like about my chart, about my astrology chart, and that a lot of my placements were put in the second house, which was all about like wealth and like or something like that, and it kind of made sense. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I got a message. Let me just turn that. Okay. I kind of don't really remember. Just after 10 seconds, I don't really remember what I was talking about anymore. All I know is that maybe you are judging yourself in a way that you think that you're... Right, I was talking about my chart and how I found out that a lot of my placements were like, you know, in the second house, and it's about wealth, about what was that called, for fuck's sake. Okay, let me see, because I think that one of the cards, this is literally a deck about that. Oh, what's that? Okay, no, it's 6 9. Just a few seconds, really. It's I'm hearing it's no biggie. Okay, cool. Second house, this is the house of resources, material possessions. That's what I want to say, material possessions and values. Here is where we see our belongings, wealth, and finances, as well as the pillar on which material, intellectual, and emotional security is developed. So that was a lot. That was really fast. So maybe I don't really get the entirety of what that second house really means, but I saw material possessions and I kind of understood, like, okay, it makes sense. Like, I'm the kind of person who just, my love language, for example, is giving gifts and being gifted with something. So instead of shaming myself for it, I can actually use it to my advantage. Like, it's not like I don't appreciate your this and this and this time, but that's my way of doing that for other people too. Like, I really, like, when I go to the supermarket, I know that I have enough money that I can buy like a few sweets for my friend or whatever, you know, that I can buy something that he enjoys, like eating in at breakfast or something, because I know that way, like, I know that people can enjoy something that I bought for them. That's my way, like, just being with other people. Sweetheart, I love my silences. I love being alone. Like, I love being a loner and just having my own time, just having fun with just being by myself. That sounds a little strange, but if you know what I mean, it's just, you know, I like being alone. So that's just my way of you know, living. That's my way of perceiving. That's my way of just going forward. I need to know. Okay. So I feel like this reading may take a little bit longer. So anyway, what is the blockage? Your doubt about your about the way that you are balancing things out, the way that you are being selfish. I feel like the blockage is that you judge yourself, and that you are a little bit that you like to be selfish with yourself, because it's like, yes, what's wrong with it? Like, I enjoy giving gifts. I enjoy like something that I like, or that I can do something with, you know. I enjoy when people give me gifts. So every time when I'm like, I mean, as I said before, like, I felt called to this group, to this specific thing. Like, I was like, I want to do this reading right now because I'm excited about it for whatever reason. Like, you need to know that you are very much deserving of material possessions. You are very much deserving of having that. That doesn't mean that you are completely off the ground. You still have it, but maybe that little thing of like, you know, there are parts that are a little bit, you know, how do I say this? For example, when I moved into this home where I live now, and I live alone, so I am eternally happy. I really I wished for a home that was like, I wanted my walls to be covered, not in normal wallpaper, but to actually be, oh, glass, to be done, you know, I don't really know the word right now, but I want a wallpaper that was like picture, like, you know, like a photograph, but not like that plain white or just, you know, stuff like that you can buy at the store, like at a local store or whatever, but more like something that is a little more expensive, honestly. And now, honestly, very honestly, if I will move into a different house, I will not need this anymore. Literally and in a figurative way. Now that I have my share of like that little bit of extra, I don't feel like I need it anymore. Sometimes, why are the cards like that? Okay, I think I shuffled it a little bit strange. Anyway, now that I already had it, I told my friend, like, if I move into a new house, I will just go for plain white or whatever, and I can always just kind of, you know, paint over it or whatever. Right now, I don't need that little extra anymore. Sometimes we just need to kind of have a taste of it, and then we'll be like, okay, I don't need this anymore. Like, I don't feel like I need that little extra. Like, I can make it look fancy without that too. And sometimes we need to have that experience, and sometimes and there are also people who are able to see that right from the get-go, and I wasn't, because I like kind of playing around with things, if that makes any sense, sometimes. And now it's like, I don't need that anymore. Like, I will be okay if it will just be like boring white or whatever, and I can just adjust my home to my own liking in a different way. Point is, like, just because we have that thing, we had that moment once, doesn't mean that it's going to repeat itself. Not necessarily. Can be for some people, but not always. So you may think that you were ungrateful, but actually you were just experiencing things. And if other people tell you that you were ungrateful, that is their opinion, that is their way of looking at things. But if you know that that is not true, then that's the truth, because only you can decide what actually is true and what you do and not. Sort of. Like, of course, there are always in different, you know what I mean? Like, in different situations, sometimes, you know, like, I am also able to see if other people act like shit and they don't see it, you know? There's a difference between ignorance and if you know yourself, then you know what is true and not. That's what I'm trying to say. So how can you remove these blockages? I kind of already answered the question, maybe, I think. Oh my gosh. You fell on the floor and you hurt my finger. 10 of Earth. Oh my god, are you kidding me? So 10 of Earth is like, well, yeah, what is it actually? The 9 of Earth, for example, is like you having your own things, like having worked toward a goal, and now you have everything, and you're financially well off. Like, you don't need, like, you're independent, you do things your way. And 10 of Pentacles is more like the ultimate family life, but as I'm seeing these Pentacles, and it's not necessarily all about family and whatever. And the 10 of Pentacles, we were talking about money things, right? So, for example, you really like money, then Spirit is saying, like, money is there for you. What you need to know, how to remove these blockages, not necessarily much about what you need to do, but more about what you need to know is, like, you are not selfish. You deserve your freedom. You deserve the way you deserve to express yourself in your own way and in your own love language, in your own way of giving and receiving. and money or financial or gifts, or you know what I mean, that's just the way that you like you're able to express yourself. It's okay. Like you need to know, like it's okay to just to like to involve yourself or indulge yourself in the fine of things of life in life, you know, it's okay. How can you remove these blockages? Anything that you need to know? We have the Empress, number 3. The Empress came out before. So the Empress is like honestly, like about empathy, about the feminine energies, about wisdom, feminine wisdom, about yin instead of yang. It's about like, I'm getting the example, this is Spirit saying, like, right now I'm getting the example, like, you don't need to act as if you literally need to work for it, as if you need to work to be able to deserve abundance and to deserve prosperity and well income. You don't need to, like, obviously we need to work for our things, at least most of us do. I don't really, I just get it. I don't know how to explain, like welfare or something, like a benefit, social, no, a financial benefit. Anyway, just because you know, it's okay to be to get it and to not be too much about like needing to give something back. Like you deserve it as well. And maybe you have done something in the past, and maybe you're just the kind of person like you always give in different ways, and for you, like, you don't need to get this, like, give or receive things in the way that you have been giving things. So for example, you like to give attention and you like to help people figure out whatever, blah blah blah, but your way of receiving is not necessarily like you need them to spend money on you, but you just deserve money. You just deserve the finer things in life. You just deserve to feel like you're a piece of luxury, like you I'm swinging in my chair. Okay, I'm not swinging, I'm turning. Anyway, it's like you need to know that the Emperor will be like, work for it, and the Empress is like, you already deserve it. Like just be abundance. Let abundance be what you deserve without needing to have a reason for it. Like, you have so much beauty in your heart. There's so much abundance in your heart, so you deserve to have that outwardly as well. Like, I don't really need to say much else than you needing to know that it's not selfishness. It's you giving to yourself and you receiving the things that you deserve. How can you remove these blockages? This is, by the way, a very beautiful reading, even for myself, because I am someone who likes to spend money for myself and others. I like it. That's the way that people really show me that they appreciate me in one way or another. How can you remove these blockages? What do you need to know? I feel like it's more like, what do you need to know? Okay, that's too many. Okay, this actually is a little bit of a longer reading, but I feel like it was easier to explain, if that makes any sense, than easier than the other groups. Okay. Strength. We have two major arcana. Strength came out in other groups as well. Number 8. Which 8 always reminds me of, like, if I see 8 or whatever, I know, like, okay, so I'm gonna earn money, or I'm gonna get money very soon, or whatever, or Spirit is telling me, like, abundance is mine, you know. Strength is like, right now it's like saying, like, be patient with yourself, like, don't ask too much, like, don't use force to get there, you know. Be patient and tell yourself it's okay, that it's fine, and that your desires and your needs are important as well, and that you do not need to adapt to what other people, you know, want, because that's what they want, you know. If that's the way that you are able to experience love and able to experience a beauty, then what is so bad about it? I mean, there are ways that, you know, people can be selfish about it, because it's like some people are really spoiled, like they have been since the very early beginning, because that's what they've been taught, you know, like as a child, and that's a whole different story. I have not grown up with a lot of luxury, you know, let's just say that. So to me, now that I can give it myself and just not expect it from other people as much, you know, it's okay. Like, what's wrong with having a way of expressing and a language, or a love language, or whatever, that likes to spend and likes to receive. One person likes to receive abundance in a way of like quality time or whatever, or likes to just you know, likes different kind of stuff, which I don't really have much to say about, honestly, because that's not how I work. Some people like this, some people like that, and you like this, and what's wrong with that? There's honestly nothing wrong with wanting the finer things. It could be getting to a point of, like, you know, it could be worse if people would expect that all the time from other people without, you know, like, you know, there are people who are just a little bit weird, but you're not one of them. I mean, no. The people who are watching from my channel are kind souls who really only want the best for other people. That's just the way it is, and I'm not going to change that. And if you're not like that, then I don't believe that, because you won't be here if you were to be a spoiled brat. No, like, there's a difference between being spoiled and deserving it. Like, honestly, we always deserve abundance, but, you know, like, I let's just say I watched, like, stupid things when it comes to, like, Dr. Phil or whatever, and I saw, like, those spoiled kids, and it's like, yeah, they need a little bit of, you know how to come back to earth, but there are people who don't. There are people who just are too selfish to even understand that other people also deserve, or that there are limits, you know, but you know the limits. It's just the way that it is. Okay. It's safe to notice that at times when I am feeling unseen, I may indirectly express my negative feelings. When I own my propensity to become passive-aggressive when perceiving a form of disrespect, I may better identify the way I am feeling so as to communicate my needs and make the adjustments necessary to create healthy change. I don't really understand what this is talking about, but I'm feeling like this reminder of, like, what was that? Right, the habit thing that I was mentioning before. Advice and last messages. So how can you remove those blockages? By noticing that it's okay to deserve, to earn. It's okay to what's that? It's okay to receive. You don't need to think too much about it. I mean, what other people do is their choice, right? Advice and last messages. Advice and last messages for group 4. Okay, and we have, this is a blessing in disguise, number 33. Be patient, have faith that your angels have the situation under control. What will come is far better than you dare to dream. All right. advice and last messages for group 3. Sorry, group 4. Too many. Surrender the habit of people-pleasing. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. Yeah, I don't need to really say anything more with that one. And now one last card. Oh my gosh. Okay, Spirit wants to talk to you. Too many though. We're going to ask one card from the Postcards from Spirit deck. So a card that will be from Spirit's words to you will be about Spirit's message to you. Okay. There is you. There is only one you, and you have a unique path and a special purpose. You're supposed to have specific experience in this world and meet certain people, but then it is up to you how you live, how awake you choose to be, and how willing you are to grow and strip away what's false. Don't compare yourself to others. It's easy to think a person is happier just because their outside looks good according to society's standards, but you can't know anyone's internal experience. Compare yourself only to your past self. See how far you've come. Don't be distracted by what others are doing or accomplishing. Stay focused on what inspires you. That's how you get successful and find happiness. Want what you have now, not what someone else has. We love you immensely and know your journey ahead is sparkling with miracles and wondrous things. Trust. Just gonna hold them up in case you want to screenshot them. Loving you forever and ever. So this is a message from Spirit. Let me just put you here. And put you here. So, stay there, please. Group 4 it is all I have for you. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the reading, I would really appreciate it if you'd let me know by liking this video, commenting down below, or subscribing to this channel. I'm sending you much love and joy. I wish you an amazing year of 2024 when you're still watching in 2023. And I hope to see you back soon. Hi Group 5, welcome to your reading. So we will be looking into what blockages are in your life and what do you need to know so you can remove them. So let's get started. Stay. Thank you. If my energy shifts, also known as vibe shifts during the reading, then it is because the energy of the reading is different from mine and I'm subconsciously adapting to the vibe of it. The reading, I mean. Before I'm going to start with this deck, which is tarot, well, Oracle tarot deck, you know, whatever. I'm going to put this to the side and put you up. How? Like this? Yeah, okay. And I'm going to start with some, with some Oracle cards to see what the blockages are. So, what blockages are in Group 5's lives? Okay, 1 second. Okay. What blockages are in Group 5's lives? I'm being reminded of The Little Mermaid, like not the remake, but the original. The movie, I mean. Mountain Goat. Where's the book? Oh, stay. Thank you. 63. Persistence. I visualize a clear path to my goal. If I feel called to read what it says in the book, then I will do that, but not right now. blockages are in your life? What blockages are in group 5's life, Spirit? Shelter, number 1. Spiritual growth, accountability, healing. A lot of blue already. What blockages are in group 5's life? What blockages are in your life? We have the portal, adventure, ancestors, calling, number 17, and it says, are you ready? Okay. What blockages are, thank you. We have opposition, complement, duality, dependence, differentiation, objectivity, oscillation, interaction. What blockages are in your life? I definitely feel, based on these 3 cards, and maybe I need to look in a guidebook for that one. If I know where it is. Oh, right here. Okay, awesome. Let's see if we can find it. If I find it. Yeah, what should I say? It's not really what I'm yeah, I'm not really an astrology person, so I need to kind of figure out where things are. Okay, what? All right. Okay. And this deck. Okay, not do that. Thank you. What blockages are in group 5's lives? What is hidden will be revealed. Okay. I will already get the tarot deck and already start shuffling for that part about how you can like remove those blockages. And in the meantime, I will just keep on thinking, feeling, thinking, intuitive. Number 54. What I definitely feel here, and I'm not really talking about blockages or something right now, I mean, yet. But what I definitely feel is that what is coming toward you is a new start of something. Something like ending one cycle and going into a new one, or going, having a new opportunity, or starting all over again in some kind of way. Spiritual growth, accountability, healing. Usually I will try to kind of make a story like in my mind about what this could be talking about, and then I will be able to say what the blockages are. All I can say right now is that I definitely feel the energy of shifting into a new awareness, or shifting into a new cycle, a new phase of your life. But not necessarily, I do not necessarily yet see what the blockages are. I feel like you're being, I feel like this is talking about you being possibly pulled into a different direction where you did not really think you would want to go. Like maybe you have plans towards something and you're already kind of seeing how, like it's not really plans, but like you know that there's a new start, but you did not at all expect that whatever kind of new start you are being pulled towards. Like you maybe feel where you are going, or maybe you think you know where you're going, but actually you are going in a whole in a whole new direction, in a completely different direction. And it may be something that may be, it may scare you a little bit, or it may be a little about that. Perseverance. Well, let's see what the book had to say about this. The mountain goat can scramble up sheer cliff faces without hesitation, picking its way up nimbly. No challenge is too great for Mother Nature's rock-climbing daredevil. The sure-footed mountain goat tells us that when life puts an obstacle in our path, we must conquer our fear and climb over it, not turn around and retreat. Always look ahead, but not so far ahead that you lose your footing or become discouraged. Make visualization part of the strategy to reaching your goals. What does it look like when you attain this? How does it feel when you get there? Remember that the universe always has your back, so don't fear the unknown. Keep striving one step at a time until you are past whatever was holding you down. Watch your step, and with persistence, no obstacle will be too great. Climb. All right. Maybe it's pretty obvious, but I'm just not noticing it until I'm noticing it. So I definitely feel like there is a new kind of path ahead, and you may already kind of know where it is leading you, and it may be a little bit scary or frustrating because this was not something that you really had in mind, or something that you really knew was going to happen. I don't feel like it's something too bad or too, like something you don't even want. I feel like it's just something like a goal that you had, but you did not think that you were so ready for it. But now you're being not forced, but like now you're being pulled toward the direction for a certain reason. So what is the blockage here? So first, I feel like you have the tendency to, like, it's like you're going forward, but you have like those moments where you kind of pull back, and it's like, I don't know really where I'm going, or whether I should actually jump, or take that leap of faith, or whether I should really do it. Like maybe you try to kind of, maybe there's like this tendency or just this habit to kind of ignore it, to kind of try and get away from it. But I don't really feel that. It's more like I'm seeing, like, again, like I'm seeing, wait, not again, but I see a scene of someone like kind of pulling away and going into the room and kind of resting and not really wanting to think too much about it, as if it doesn't exist. And I don't feel like that's for the majority of you, but I do feel like there's hesitance when it comes to going on this adventure. I feel that you may not understand exactly why you're doing it, or not why you're doing it, but it's like you, the Chariot. I don't really know how to explain these blockages. All I can say is that for the first card, when it comes to like how you can remove these blockages, is to know, is to just move forward without much of a thought about what will come into your way, because the Chariot is pretty much the same as the Mountain Goat. Like whatever will come your way, we will be able to go over it or go around it in some way. Like no obstacle is too great. Like anything that you have had on your mind that you wanted to do, start to create, just because it kind of is intimidating, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it. Doesn't necessarily mean that you do not have the power or the willpower to go where you want to go, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's something that you didn't really think that you would really go toward. But then it could be that you suddenly had the opportunity. I'm not going to take this because I'm talking. That you suddenly had the opportunity to go toward that direction, and you're like, I can't really explain how it got to that point. All I can say is that the blockages right now toward that goal are mostly in your mind. I feel like this could be talking about maybe a promise, or not really a promise, but like something that you wanted to achieve, something that you wanted to succeed, something that you wanted to manifest into your life, and then it's suddenly here, and it's like, okay, now it's a little more intimidating than you anticipated. It's a little more it's a little bit too real to be true. It's like almost, you may feel like you're dreaming. I don't feel like this is something bad. I feel like this is something that you've been longing to do for a long time. And if this is not happening yet, I feel like the blockage will be about you I feel like you'll be maybe thinking too much about how things will turn out, or about whether you actually can do it. Like it's almost like you have been dreaming of this like your entire life, and then suddenly it's there, and it's like, wait, hold on, like I need to think. I don't know how to explain this. The blockage may not be as big as you think. I feel like it has to do with resistance and a little bit of like this cold feet kind of thing. If anything, the blockage is not really a blockage. It's more like you have to overcome it by knowing that a blockage can be dealt with. It's not something that is impossible to overcome. Maybe you're seeing it as, maybe the blockage is that you see something as a blockage, as something that completely kind of scares you, or no, not scares you, but the blockage has more to do with you seeing a blockage as something that cannot be overcome, or thinking that it's too hard to achieve, or thinking that you're maybe not good enough or something like that. I feel like the blockages could be multiple kind of specific feelings or thoughts that you have now that it actually is in your life, and you're maybe not so sure anymore about whether you want this or not. So when it comes to how you can remove these blockages, the Chariot here gives the same kind of message as the Mountain Goat, which is to go forward and to not think too much about the consequences, but be like, it's what you always wanted. Like, why, like, nothing can stop you to get what you want. So don't let yourself, like don't trap yourself by narrowing the road. Don't make yourself so scared that don't scare yourself so badly that you push away your desires. How can you, whoa, too much. Too much. Chair, shut up. We're not speaking to you. How can you remove these blockages? Two of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay. I feel like what you need to know is that the way that you, like, the blockage is worry. The blockage is worry and you not feeling ready. When I heard once in like a quote thing, like that the character said, like, maybe it's how they say, maybe we're never meant to be ready or feel ready, but actually you are. It's just like this overwhelming kind of newness. It's like, okay, it's, you know, it's kind of like, before you immediately turn away from it, know that you need to get used to it before you can make an before you can really make a decision that's not based out of overwhelming, out of the feeling of being overwhelmed or of worries or something like that. Know that before you quit, make sure that you know why. Okay. I feel like what you need to know about these blockages, about you feeling blocked, it's not like it's a blockage, it's more like you feel blocked. You feel like you're stuck because of what you're feeling. I do want to say that this feeling is based on you suddenly having this like very swift change, this very fast change. Like, you've been preparing for it and then it suddenly is there, and it's like, oh, this is real, you know. It kind of feels like that. And I feel like the advice is for you to take one step at a time, to not, like, the mountain goat doesn't look too far ahead, because otherwise he'll get overwhelmed. And I feel the blockage is that you are looking too far ahead, that you're already asking too much of yourself, that you're thinking that you need to do everything on your own, and that you're not able to do this. I feel like the blockage is your mindset and how you are looking at this. And the way that you're looking at this is like, oh my God, this is too much, I can't do this. Even though you do not need to do all of this on your own, like, you don't need to. The Two of Cups at the back, like, this could be about like a relationship or like a cat. Like, honestly, this is almost a message for me, because I've been thinking about I remember there was a time that was, no, it wasn't this year, it was the year before. But I had, there was a time where I wanted a pet, and I still want a pet. I'm literally thinking about it again right now. But maybe I've been not really, well, it's not really maybe, like I adopted a pet that was actually a little bit too young for my brain. Let's just say that, a little too young, a little too curious, and I was like, where is she, and I got so overwhelmed even after like 2 days that I called and I said, like, I can't do this. And after a week the cat got back to where it was. But it's like, I was like, I felt guilty as well, because, you know, I don't like making a change and then going back to the way I was. Like, I don't like doing that to everyone involved, because then suddenly there's this change, and I couldn't take it yet. Like, there was too much, and maybe if I just let it kind of sink in and kind of took a while to kind of get used to it, maybe I would have been able to still have the cat. Like, I literally, well, not literally, but I sometimes miss her a little bit. I still have pictures of her. Like, she was really, like, after even like a day or 2 or 3, she was already like curled up against me, and holding on to me. Like, do I even, like, I think I have pictures. That's yeah, that's a little bit, that's a little while ago. It's 2022. Yeah. I remember, like, like laying in bed, and she would just be curled up like that. So every time she would like lay next to me in bed, and this was like me sitting on my couch, and she was like holding onto with her nails like onto my leg, and she was like really like, it was really adorable. Honestly, I couldn't help but make pictures. And it was very cute. Like, she wasn't much older than a year or something, but still, I don't know. But I couldn't take it, and a friend of mine said, like, you would have been great for her, but she wouldn't have been great for you. And that was actually something that actually calmed me down a little bit. Like, it's not like, you know, I just couldn't take the curiosity, the curling, the cuddling and stuff like that. That wouldn't be a problem, and I'm right now still thinking about it. The point is, I was so overwhelmed by this sudden change because I kind of prepared, but also not, like, mentally I did not really, I still had to kind of realize, like, right, okay, this is real. And then when I realized it, it got so much. But you're at that point where you are even further ahead than I was at when I had that. So, like, literally it could be about a cat or a pet or whatever. But it could be about a relationship. It could be about a job opportunity. It could be about, like, I immediately thought of, like, when I was reminded of, back, this is also a few years ago, when I was, wanting to, it's a long story, but I was looking into wanting to, you know, adopt like buy a horse, like to have my own horse. Didn't turn out that way, and I still wouldn't be ready right now, but it's not like I can never reach that goal. What the message here is, I feel like, whatever it is that you're facing right now, whatever it is that you're that is coming into your life, or that has come into your life, know that you are ready for it, but don't be too stuck on, like, focusing too much on ahead of the future, like in the future and stuff like that. Like, do know, like, things like whatever is going on, like things like these take time, and not like just one time and then you'll immediately be used to it. It's a change that needs to be slowly adapted to. So take things one step at a time, and don't overwork yourself. Don't make it too much. Like, after a little bit, you will notice how it will gradually fit into your lifestyle. Like, it's going to be fine. No, let's not do that. So how can you remove these blockages? Oh, we have the Two of Swords. Interesting. Group 4 also got the Two of Swords. As the last card. The Two of Swords is more about like making a decision about going one way or the other. Like, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? So this is like also for you. This is like a message like, how can you remove these blockages? By making a decision now about what you really want and what you don't want. To know for sure like that you are doing it because you want to, and not because you're afraid, not because you don't want it. Like, if you're gonna continue, are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it, you know, like, I feel like whatever it is happening here is something that you have wanted, like, always or for a long time. So be really very cautious before you suddenly quit, or before you suddenly completely remove that part out of your life, as if it's you know, like, take one step at a time. Do not be afraid to make one mistake or two or whatever, you know, and definitely do not give up. That's for sure. Like, be sure that you really don't make rash decisions, you know, like, if you're deciding, know that you have to do it because of like your heart decides and your mind accomplishes, if that makes any sense. Oh, oops. Okay, so now let's get into some last advice. Anything else that you need to know about these blockages, or anything, just some last advice and guidance and messages. Advice and last messages for group 5. Okay, so where do I put you? I'll put you here, and I'll put you here. Okay. All right, so I affirm that what happened is not my fault, but the effect it now has on me is my responsibility, and I empower myself when I take accountability. When I am ready, I will determine where I could release self-judgment and reclaim my power by choosing to more effectively make the decisions that best advocate for my needs. I feel called to get one more card for you. Okay, there we go. And we have, I challenge myself to recognize when my beliefs may be leading me to adopt a black and white concept of what is occurring. I step into my highest potential when I choose to see the good in the bad, and the bad in the good, so that I may align with and receive the good available in every situation, and I find myself in, despite there existing things I do not like or want. In case you want to screenshot those cards. All right, there and there. I like that here it's blue and here it's pink. Pink and purple because of the cards, colors, and all that stuff. But okay. Okay, advice and last messages. For group 5. No. Sorry, but no. No, I said no, not gonna happen. There we go. That I can accept. And we have trust your angels, 36. Let go of your expectations of how your dreams will come true. Trust that heaven has a perfect plan. Heaven, spirit, universe, whatever you prefer. Advice and last messages. Okay, I feel called to take both of them. So I'll just put you here. Surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. And surrender your fear of change. This is perfect. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death. Repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Now one last card from the Spirit, Postcards from Spirit deck. So a message from Spirit, and that was really fast. So, and we have, dearest you, we are a chatty bunch over here, always talking about how to support you in your life's journey. We communicate to you through the language of oracles, dreams, signs, metaphors, and omens. In your life on Earth, however, clarity in your communication is essential to being understood. You don't speak in symbols, and if you did, you will definitely confuse things. Right now, you're facing a situation in which you're being asked to have integrity. Be clear and learn how to ask for your needs to be met. The first step is to admit out loud that you have needs. The second is to ask out loud for them to be met. And the third is to allow the other person, organization, or even us to answer you. When you follow these steps, you can most definitely expect an answer. In your favor, affirmative, we say. Okay. Loving you so, so very much. In case you want to screenshot it, because that's a cute message. So angels and spirit guides could be specific, significant. So group 5, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the reading, I would really appreciate it if you'd let me know by liking this video, commenting down below how it resonated, for example, or subscribing to this channel. I'm sending you much love and joy. I wish you an amazing year of 2024 for the ones who are right now still watching in 2023, of course, and even if you're still watching in 2024, it doesn't matter. And I hope to see you back soon.